every season is a journey, and every team is different. And you can see where we are, and you can see how far we have to go. It's nice to be able to win along the way, but obviously we got to get a lot better if we're going to be able to beat the people that are on our schedule later on in the season. One of the reasons why we've played the non-conference that we've played, teams that are picked to finish in the top 3 of their league, like Georgia Southern third, Davidson, first or second, South Alabama first, Colgate, the Patriot League first, New Mexico in the top 3, Furman in the top 2 or 3. These teams they know how to win. They've been there before. They've been in close games. One of the things that clearly stared me in the face on Tuesday night at South Alabama was I was playing against a team where there were a lot of guys on the floor late, and I was playing with a team that hadn't had many guys on the floor late, maybe just Samir. Javon wasn't out there late. D'Angelo wasn't out there late. Anthony was. Anthony would have been. So Isaac is a freshman. And so to go through the experience and survive it, if we can learn from it, is really valuable. Obviously, just a great environment on Tuesday night, but we got work to do, particularly on the offensive end. And I think the other thing I'd point out is this: we always talk about the bench being right and ready, how important that is. And I had told Alan Flanagan and I had told Jamal Johnson before the game, I said, you guys, you understand something. You're gonna win us games this year. You guys are gonna win us games this year. I said, now, you could also lose us games too, to catch a smile from them a little bit, to get them a little bit relaxed. But my point to them was, we need you. Stay right and stay ready. And I mean, for Jamal to be able to come in there and knock down 4 threes, for Allen to be able to come in there and play his best game so far, when we got into some foul trouble in the front line, for Stretch to be able to get in there for 3 or 4 minutes again due to foul trouble and block some shots and the energy that he brought the team was really uplifting. That's how you got to build it a little bit, but we got work to do. When I put the roster up on, which I do before every game, who's going to play that night, next to Anthony's name I put Maverick, and I don't think all the guys understood what that was all about when I wrote the names on the board. And I was able to then explain to the team that Maverick would be born on Wednesday morning, and Anthony would have his first child. And sure enough, after the game, we were able to get Anthony back quickly, thanks to our athletic director, Alan Green. And he was able to be with his fiancée the evening before their child was born, and Maverick was delivered yesterday morning at 9 o'clock over in Columbus. I got a chance last night to go over there and see the family, and it was great. It was very sweet. And hold Anthony's son, who was just 11 hours old. So a lot of blessings, a lot of wonderful blessings, took place over there the last, 24 hours or so. Get ready for Cal State Northridge, a Cal State Northridge team that's picked to finish in the top 3 of their conference. Mark Gottfried, a coach that I've gone up against before, very familiar with, been competitive games against Mark, and they've got a team that's played 3 high major programs. They've played Oregon State, and they've played New Mexico, and 2 high major programs, and then they played Pepperdine. They haven't won yet. They've been close for about 35 minutes, and then the game's got away from them at the end. and they've got an All-American and Big West Player of the Year, who was a sophomore, who was the Big West Freshman of the Year and Player of the Year a year ago. He has not played in their first 3 games, and he's due to come eligible at some point, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's a week from now or start a second semester. We don't know, but he is not eligible, has not been eligible for the first 3 games. So we'll prepare, to face him. Got to just continue to grow. It's about us as much as anything.
We talked about Stretch, his first game, and what he needs to do to be more of a factor.
Yeah, Stretch was back in Nigeria for 9 months, and really unable to play much basketball, and so his growth and development obviously was stunted. Within the first month, he gained 20 pounds, which tells you a little something about the way we're able to provide nutrition for our student athletes, and the speed, tempo, the conditioning, coming back to him. Stretch has got great length, and when we get his lower body and his core stronger, he'll be able to get more lift, and because he's got great defensive instincts. You love all your children, and you don't like any more of them than you do any others. The kids always accuse you of having your favorites. Well, Stretch is one of my favorites, and I've told the team that ahead of time, that he's one of my favorites, But he's also one of their favorites. He's a great kid, very appreciative, very hardworking, and we got to get him ready to help us this year, but also to be a major factor next year when we lose several players on the front line. And he's just got a phenomenal attitude. He just wants to get better. He's a sponge. He's coachable.
Anything in particular, basketball skills-wise?
Yeah, I just have more confidence offensively. He's got great defensive confidence. He doesn't have a lot of offensive confidence, and that just will come through experience. He's a better offensive player than he gives himself credit for.
You mentioned Jamal. You've had players come in, transfer in, and sit out that year practicing with the team. How much does that year being able to be with the team help a guy like Jamal come in and play?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. It helps a lot. I think guys transferring and sitting out a year is a great tool for them personally to develop, get caught up academically, get ahead academically. Jamal had a lot of catching up to do physically. He was behind strength and his development, his physical development. Had some injuries when he was younger with his hips and his knees and different things like that. So last year was a great chance for him to just get physically better. The knowledge of the system, the willingness to have another guy out there that knows what he's doing, he knows what he's supposed to be. For me, my thing with Jamal has been to try to give him more confidence, to get him to be more assertive, because he knows what to do. It's just that his own personality is one where he's willing to assert himself, but not comfortable forcing others to be in the right spots when he knows what they're supposed to be, and that's what he can do. So it is an advantage. And look, we don't win the game without him. Like, okay, we don't beat South Alabama without Jamal Johnson. He's only been here for 3 games. He's already won us a game. Of course, we don't win the game without Isaac Okoro. We don't win it without Anthony McLemore. We don't win it without Samir getting 10 rebounds. We don't win it without Javon doing a better job breaking pressure. There were a lot of different pieces to the game. And one of the things I talked to the team about yesterday was be yourself. You got to be the best version of you. Jamal doesn't need to be Bryce. Javon doesn't need to be Jared. There are things that they do. There are things that we do that that make us better. Got to go to our strengths and know what our weaknesses are and stay away from them.
Would you like to get Turbo into the game in the coming game?
We were planning. Yeah, Turbo will play Friday, and Monday. We just felt the way the game was going, we were down for much of the first half. He typically gets a rotation there. Jamal was playing well. We just felt like a little more Jamal, a little bit more Allen in that time was required. So it really wasn't any kind of a demotion. My goal is to get him a couple rotations every game, as long as our roster stays healthy the way it is, because he's earned it. And I've got confidence in him.
You guys looking forward to being back home after a couple games away from home?
I'll tell you what, this will be, we had 3 games in 7 days, including 2 on the road. And the Naval Academy, we went out a day early. The bus trip, we got back from Navy really late on Friday night. I want to say we got back around 2:30 in the morning. And then we got back from our bus trip from South Alabama yesterday, or Tuesday night, Wednesday morning around 1:30. And then classes start at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. So yesterday's practice, we got the starters in. We watched film. We got the starters in here. We got some shots. We went through the scout. We stretched, and I got them out of here. They had a half a day. And then we spent the rest of the day actually going live with the bench. The bench schools got great repetitions yesterday, so we had a really good practice yesterday. A lot of times what happens is you get your team ready based on the guys that are playing the heavy minutes, and you forget about those other guys. We try not to. And so I got a great workout yesterday from them. And again, going back to the fact that it's about us. It's about, we're a ways away from where we need to be competitive. But we've been good enough to win. So that's all you're trying to. That's what you're trying to put yourself in that position.
We good?